There is a quiet lie that many ambitious people believe, often without realizing it. The lie is that success, especially enduring success, is primarily a function of intelligence, talent, connections, or timing. That if you are sharp enough, fast enough, or lucky enough, leadership and impact will naturally follow. BE 2.0 exists to dismantle that illusion with surgical precision. Jim Collins does not write for people chasing short-term wins. He writes for builders, people who want to create something that lasts beyond their presence, something resilient enough to survive chaos, disruption, and generational change. BE 2.0 is not a book about entrepreneurship in the popular sense of hustling, scaling fast, or chasing valuations. It is a book about becoming the kind of leader capable of building enduring organizations, whether those organizations are startups, nonprofits, family businesses, global corporations, or even nations. If you love powerful, insightful, and life-changing books, then you've found the right channel. Every week, we break down the ideas that transform mindsets, elevate success, and shift lives. So don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you'll want to catch every book we review. Let's continue. From the opening premise, Collins and Lazier establish a foundational truth. Great outcomes are not the result of great ideas alone. They are the result of disciplined leadership practiced over time. Ideas matter, but character matters more. Strategy matters, but consistency matters more. Vision matters, but execution anchored in values matters most. This insight is especially urgent in a world defined by volatility. Artificial intelligence is rewriting entire industries. Political instability is reshaping global markets. Careers that once lasted decades now evaporate in years. In such an environment, charisma without discipline collapses quickly, and ambition without grounding becomes destructive. The leaders who endure are not the loudest or the flashiest, but the most anchored. As the ancient philosopher Heraclitus mourned, character is destiny. BE 2.0 is, at its core, a modern exploration of that timeless idea. The first discipline: build yourself before you build anything else. Every lesson in BE 2.0 begins with a deceptively simple but demanding proposition. Before you build a company, you must build yourself. Collins argues that leadership failure rarely starts with bad strategy. It starts with unexamined character. The inner life of the leader eventually becomes the outer reality of the organization. This principle feels almost uncomfortable in a culture obsessed with external metrics: revenue, growth, followers, market share. Yet history repeatedly confirms it. When leaders collapse morally or emotionally, institutions follow. When leaders lack discipline, organizations drift. When leaders chase ego, cultures rot. Recent examples are plentiful. In the United States, we've seen once admired startup founders destroy billions in value, not because their technology failed, but because their judgment failed. Globally, political and corporate scandals often trace back to leaders who never developed internal constraints strong enough to regulate their power. Collins reframes leadership not as a privilege, but as a burden that requires preparation. You do not become disciplined because you lead. You are allowed to lead because you are disciplined. This reverses the usual logic of ambition. The Stoic philosopher Seneca captured this dynamic centuries ago. No man is fit to command another that cannot command himself. BE 2.0 insists that self-command, emotional control, intellectual honesty, humility is the non-negotiable starting point. Once this internal foundation is established, a second realization emerges naturally. Leadership is not about being extraordinary, it is about being relentlessly consistent. Consistency beats intensity every time. One of the most dangerous myths in modern entrepreneurship is that breakthroughs come from bursts of intensity, heroic effort, late nights, dramatic pivots. Jim Collins does not deny the role of hard work, but he reframes it. What matters most is not how hard you work once, but how reliably you execute over time. Enduring organizations are not built by momentary brilliance, they are built by daily discipline. This is why Collins places such emphasis on systems, habits, and operating principles. Leaders who rely on inspiration eventually exhaust themselves. Leaders who rely on structure scale themselves. This lesson resonates strongly in recent global trends. Consider companies that survived economic shocks while competitors collapsed. During the COVID-19 crisis, organizations with strong processes, cash discipline, and clear decision rules adopted faster than those driven by charismatic improvisation. In contrast, firms built around singular personalities often struggled when those personalities faltered. From an American perspective, companies like Costco exemplify this principle. Costco's success is not driven by flashy innovation, but by consistent adherence to core principles: fair wages, low margins, customer trust, and operational discipline. These boring virtues compound into extraordinary results. Globally, Toyota's long-standing dominance is rooted in the same idea. The Toyota production system is not glamorous, it is methodical. Yet its emphasis on continuous improvement and disciplined execution has outperformed competitors for decades. Aristotle's insight fits seamlessly here. We are what we repeatedly do. BE 2.0 turns this philosophical truth into an operational mandate. If consistency is the engine of excellence, then leadership must shift from performance to process. And once process matters more than personality, a deeper question arises. How do leaders make decisions that remain sound under pressure? Great leaders think in principles, not reactions. Collins emphasizes that enduring leaders do not rely on instinct alone. They rely on clear thinking frameworks. In moments of chaos, emotion is loud and clarity is rare. Principles act as anchors when information is incomplete and stakes are high.
This is one of the most practical lessons in BE 2.0. Leaders who fail often fail not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked decision filters. Without principles, every crisis feels unique and overwhelming. With principles, decisions become consistent even when circumstances change. We see this vividly in modern geopolitics and business. Leaders who govern or manage by impulse create instability. Markets may act violently to unpredictability. Employees disengage when rules shift arbitrarily. In contrast, leaders who articulate and live by clear values, even unpopular ones, create trust. A contemporary example is Satya Nadella's transformation of Microsoft. Rather than chasing trends reactively, he grounded decisions in a principle-driven culture centered on learning, empathy, and long-term value creation. The result was not just cultural renewal, but financial resurgence. Globally, organizations that navigated AI disruption effectively did so by establishing guiding principles about ethics, data responsibility, and human-centered design. Those without such anchors oscillated between fear and recklessness. Immanuel Kant once wrote, "He who wills the end must will the means." BE 2.0 echoes this moral clarity. Values are not slogans, they are constraints that shape behavior when shortcuts tempt you most. Once leaders think in principles, another truth becomes unavoidable. People, not ideas, are the ultimate drivers of greatness. You don't build great companies, you build great people. Perhaps the most enduring contribution of BE 2.0 is its insistence that organizations rise and fall with the quality of their people. Strategy can be copied, technology can be reverse engineered. Culture, built through people, is far harder to replicate. Collins challenges leaders to abandon the fantasy of doing it alone. Leadership is not about being indispensable, it is about making yourself replaceable by developing others. The strongest leaders measure success not by personal achievement, but by the caliber of leaders they leave behind. Recent events reinforce this lesson. Companies that weather leadership transitions smoothly are those that invested deeply in talent development. Those that depended on a single visionary often faced chaos when that vision disappeared. In the United States, organizations with strong internal leadership pipelines, such as Procter & Gamble, have demonstrated remarkable continuity across generations of leadership. Globally, family-owned enterprises that professionalize leadership development have outperformed those trapped in founder-centric models. This idea aligns with the Confucian principle: the strength of a nation derives from the integrity of the home. Scaled to organizations, the strength of an enterprise derives from the integrity and capability of its people. But building people introduces a new responsibility. Leaders must learn to balance ambition with humility. Humility is not weakness, it is strategic strength. One of the most counterintuitive lessons in BE 2.0 is that the most effective leaders are often the least ego-driven. Collins famously describes this as Level 5 leadership, a paradoxical blend of fierce resolve and personal humility. This lesson feels radical in a culture that celebrates self-promotion, yet evidence continues to support it. Leaders consumed by ego make fragile systems. They suppress dissent, ignore warning signs, and surround themselves with loyalty instead of truth. Recent corporate failures often trace back to leaders who mistook personal identity for organizational success. When criticism feels like betrayal, learning stops. When image matters more than reality, decline accelerates. By contrast, humble leaders create environments where truth surfaces early. They invite challenge, they credit others for success, and take responsibility for failure. This creates resilience. The philosopher Lao Tzu captured this centuries ago. He who knows he has enough is rich. BE 2.0 reframes humility as a form of abundance, the confidence to focus on the mission rather than the mirror. And once ego recedes, leaders gain the clarity to confront the hardest truth of all. Progress requires disciplined confrontation with reality. Face reality, or reality will eventually face you. Collins insists that great leaders do not sugarcoat facts. Optimism is not denial, it is confidence paired with realism. Organizations fail not because reality is harsh, but because leaders refuse to see it early. This lesson has played out repeatedly in recent times. Companies that ignored disruptive trends, whether digital transformation, remote work, or AI, paid steep prices. Nations that dismissed structural weaknesses faced crises when shocks arrived. In contrast, leaders who confronted brutal facts early positioned themselves to adapt. During global supply chain disruptions, organizations that acknowledged vulnerability quickly diversified sourcing and survived. Those that denied risk collapsed. This echoes a core Stoic idea articulated by Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. BE 2.0 elevates this from philosophy to leadership doctrine. Facing reality requires courage, acting on it requires discipline, and sustaining that discipline requires something deeper still: purpose. Ultimately, BE 2.0 converges on a final, unifying insight. Enduring leadership is powered by purpose, not rewards. Money, recognition, and status are weak motivators over long arcs. Purpose, the belief that what you are building matters beyond yourself, is what sustains effort through adversity.
This lesson resonates globally. We see it in social entrepreneurs addressing climate change, education, and healthcare, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. We see it in mission-driven companies outperforming competitors by aligning profit with meaning. In the United States, organizations that articulate clear purpose attract stronger talent and deeper loyalty. Globally, movements that endure are those rooted in shared meaning, not transactional incentives. Viktor Frankl's words feel especially relevant. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. BE 2.0 is a guide to discovering and operationalizing that why in leadership. The quiet power of becoming. When all the lessons of BE 2.0 are woven together, a single truth emerges. Leadership is not an event, it is a process of becoming. It is not something you achieve once, but something you practice daily through discipline, humility, clarity, and purpose. The book does not promise ease, it promises durability. It does not offer shortcuts, it offers standards. In a world obsessed with speed, BE 2.0 teaches patience. In a culture addicted to noise, it teaches substance. In an era of fragile success, it teaches how to build something that lasts. You do not rise by accident. You do not endure by luck. You build carefully, deliberately, from the inside out. And in doing so, you become not just successful, but worthy of the success you create. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join us for more wisdom that fuels growth.